Hello students, welcome to Tax Ma'am classes. Today we are going to focus on exemption under the head income from capital gains which are described under section 54 to 54 GB. So before that we have already learned all the basic concepts of capital gains, right? So we have seen what is the meaning of capital gain. We also have seen what is the meaning of capital asset, how many different types of capital assets are there, and also we have seen the pro forma for computation of income from long-term capital gains and short-term capital gains, and we have also seen the long-term capital gain is taxable at a flat rate of 20%, and whereas the short-term capital gains which are described under section 111A is taxable at a flat rate of 15%. We have also seen this. Other than this section, the short-term capital gain is taxed in according to the slab rates, right? We have seen the procedure also, and we have done one problem. And now today we are focusing on the exemption. So what is the meaning of exemption? Means a part of the long-term capital gain or the short-term capital gain is allowed as exemption. That means a person, an SSE, need not pay tax 20%, a small amount or the total amount of the long-term capital gain or short-term capital gain is allowed as exemption. So is that benefit to the SSE? Means absolutely it is. Yes, it is benefit. So we have so many exemptions are there from section 54 to 54 GB. We have so many exemptions. So one by one we are going to learn from today, and what are the provisions are there, what are the conditions, and how much amount is allowed as exemption. From today we are going to learn. So let's see section 54. So section 54 talks about the exemption will be given where SSE is transferring his residential house property. So when an SSE is transferring his residential house property, and if he is getting any capital gain by transferring the amount, what we will get will be called as sales consideration. After going through the procedure at the end, we will call it as long-term capital gain or short-term capital gain according to the provisions, right? If the person is transferring his residential property, house property, then the person is eligible for exemption under section 54. Then what are the condition means? So the first condition is it is eligible only for the long-term capital gain. That means then SSE have to hold this residential house property for more than 24 months, and then he have to transfer this house property, residential house property. Then only the person is eligible for exemption under section 54. See the second point. Transfer of residential house property must be there. This residential is very important. So transfer of residential house property must be there. So coming to the third point, what is the third point? They are saying they have to reinvest, SSE have to reinvest in purchase or construction of the new house property. So for what we have seen, it is eligible for the long-term capital gain only. And how that long-term capital gain should arise means by transfer of residential house property. So what they are saying, after transferring the residential house property with that long-term capital gain, the SSE have to reinvest in purchase or construction of new residential house property. Here two conditions are there. So what actually they are saying, by transferring the old residential house property, and SSE have to reinvest again in purchase or construction or in purchase or construction of new residential house property. If the SSE have to want to construct a new residential house property, then within 3 years he have to construct the new residential house property from the date of transferring. Whenever the SSE is transferring this old residential house property, from that date within 3 years we have to construct the residential house property. Or if you want to purchase, means he have to purchase within 2 years from the date of transferring. Or he have one option also, before transferring within 1 year, before transferring this old house property, he can purchase one residential house property within 1 year before transferring. 1 year after transferring means within 2 years you have to purchase. If you want to construct new residential house property means within 3 years you have to construct. And see, coming to the next condition, fourth condition. So after purchasing or constructing this new residential house property, he shouldn't transfer this for 3 years from the date of construction or from the date of purchase. He shouldn't transfer this new residential house property for 3 years. So if these conditions are satisfied, then the person is eligible for exemption under section 54. Then what is the exemption amount means? See, long-term capital gain before exemption, or the cost of new residential house property for whatever the amount he spent for construction or for purchase of the new residential house property, plus the amount deposited in the capital gain account. This amount will be given in the question itself. So in these two things we have to add, and we have to compare these two amounts. Which amount is less, that amount is allowed as exemption under section 54. I think you have understood this concept. So let's see one example problem. I am referring to the Kalyani publications. So they are asking, see, the compute the taxable capital gain for the particulars given below. They are asking us to compute the capital gain, and see the first point, net consideration. They are directly giving net consideration. What is this net consideration means? Normally what is the procedure? They will give the sales consideration. From there we will deduct the transfer expenses, then we will get net consideration. So directly they are giving net consideration of a residential house property. What does it mean? Assessee is transferring one residential house property. After deducting the transfer expenses, the amount what he is getting is the amount 10 lakhs they have given. When the transfer is done means on 2nd June 2017, they gave the CII amount number as 272. And see the second point, cost of acquisition of this house was 2,10,000 when this was acquired means on 1st of May 2007. If we can see, it is 2007 acquisition and he transferred the asset on 2017. That means it is a long-term capital gain, and they gave the CII for this acquisition year also, it is 129. And see the third point, he acquired new house property on 1/9/2017 for 2 lakhs. So this person is eligible for exemption under section 54. How means? He transferred the residential house property. They said it is residential house property on 2nd June 2017, and within 3 months he have acquired new residential house property. According to the condition, he should acquire within 2 years. Yes, he is qualifying that, and this is a long-term capital gain. If we can see, he acquired on 2007, he is transferring on 2017. It is a long-term capital gain, and he is reinvesting, and there is no further any information regarding whether he transferred this new residential house property. So we are assuming that it is not transferred. So see, have to compute means our answer always starts with the sales consideration, but they are given directly net consideration. So we are taking net consideration as 10 lakhs, and see minus, we have to deduct indexed cost of acquisition, and if any improvement is also done, we have to deduct indexed cost of improvement. If we can see here, there is no information regarding improvement, so we have to deduct only indexed cost of acquisition, 2,10,000 into 272, the year in which the transfer has been done, and divided by the year in which the CII of the year in which the property has been acquired, 129. If we deduct this amount from the 10 lakhs, the amount what we are getting here, we should name it as long-term capital gain. Why? Because we don't have any cost of improvement. So this amount 5,57,209 is the long-term capital gain before exemption. Long-term capital gain before exemption. So according to section 54, what is the provision we have seen? So how much amount will be allowed as exemption means long-term capital gain before exemption, or cost of new residential house property plus amount deposited in capital gain. In these two things, whichever is less will be allowed as exemption. If we can see in our question, see the long-term capital gain before exemption is 5,57,209, and the amount the amount invested in purchase of new residential house property is 2 lakhs. So if we have to compare these two things, 2 lakhs or 5,57,209, in these two things whichever is least will be allowed as exemption. So 2 lakhs is the least one, so 2 lakhs is allowed as exemption under section 54C. 2 lakhs is allowed as exemption. If we deduct 2 lakhs from this amount, the amount what we will get will be called as taxable long-term capital gain. So I think you have understood the concept. Thank you for watching. We will be explaining the next section in the next class. If you have any doubts or if you want me to explain any other concept, you can comment that in a comment section. Thank you for watching.